To reach my reading goals for 2024, the target was 13 books a month, starting in January. Fell a little short in January, so I said for February, I'd do 16 books. Thanks for joining me for my February reading wrap up. I enjoyed some great books again this month, and I'm going to talk about them real quick. I did not get through as many as I hoped. If you enjoy this episode, be sure to let me know by liking it down below and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. There's also a place to leave your comments down in the comment box here on YouTube underneath. If you're listening to this in audio, come find us on YouTube and you can give us some comments. I've got some new equipment here today, brand new camera, trying to make myself look a little more clear for you all. I was also trying to get rid of some of the glare on my forehead that my brother said was making me look really pasty white. Yeah, that didn't go away too much, but I did move the camera to the side a little. So at least the glare is a little bit angled and not dead center. And you can tell me if you think that looks a little better too. We're trying to bring the best for you all. Okay, back to the books. How exactly did I do? Well, I had a vacation at the beginning of the month, and so I was able to spend a lot of extra time reading. Should have helped, right? No. If you're like me, very driven, goal-oriented, lots of things you want to get done in pleasure, but also at work, when you go on vacation, you work twice as hard before and after vacation to make up for the time you're going to be away. So, yeah, I had lots of time to read on vacation, but I had even less than usual on either side of it, especially after, but no, it was like that before too. But here in February, it was the time after vacation that got sucked away, and I didn't get the chance to read nearly as much as I wanted to. On top of it, the work I did have in front of me this month, it was a lot of reading, a lot of intense work reading, and I just had to do it. It's good stuff. I like my job, but I just did not get to read like I thought I would. Anyway, here's the books that I did read this month, and I'm going to start sharing now a rating for every book that I've read. If you follow me on Goodreads, these won't be surprises. I do put a rating for every book I read there, and I also share it on our Discord server. Link to joining us on Discord is down in the show notes. But for those of you who aren't in either of those places following me, ta-da, here's my ratings for every book that I read. First up, Reaper's Gale, Book 7 of Malazan Book of the Fallen by Steven Erikson. This 2007 fantasy book is dense. A lot to take in and comprehend. Even though the hardcover edition is only just over 500 pages, it took a lot to get through this. I started it as I went on vacation, just over a week long, and I did finish it before the end of vacation, though I had to push at the end to get it done. A lot of dedicated hours, but I was just relaxing. It was wonderful to do so. It was a fantastic read, my favorite Malazan book so far, really moving the story forward powerfully. A 5-star read for me, for certain. Next up, I began Pierce Brown's Red Rising series with Book 1, Red Rising. A little shorter than the Malazan book, under 400 pages. This science fiction novel by Pierce Brown, man, it was super easy to consume. I mean, you just get sucked in and you do not want to put the book down. Great characters and a plot that you're craving to know what's going to happen next. What's next? Must continue. And it was full of some punches and surprises. It's a really well-written story. Another big 5-star for me. Moved right on to Red Rising Book 2, Golden Sun. A continuation of the story, which is a couple of years in between the two books. It's a very logical flow. It was well designed as to how it keeps the story going. The plot is more intense. There's even more action, and the stakes have really stepped it up. And the ending, holy crap! Another 5 stars. I sucked those two down really fast, so no desire to step away and read something else. I don't need a palate cleanser. Give me more Red Rising. So I moved right on to Book 3, which is Morning Star, the conclusion of the original Red Rising trilogy. It's a smaller time jump, just a year this time. But even with a year, it's really just a direct continuation of the story in book two. High energy, tremendously huge stakes, and some real shocks in this story. It's hard to conceive after the twist at the end of book two, but yeah, Pierce Brown went over and above. This not only has its intense moments, but also some real emotional hits. And the ending was an excellent trilogy conclusion, quite satisfying in a rather realistic way. Again, of course, 5 stars. There are more books in the Red Rising saga, so why stop there? February wasn't done. I moved on to book four, Iron Gold. Now, this is really a new start for the series. There's a 10-year time jump because the trilogy finished, but there is more story to be told. And here we go with Iron Gold. It's a natural continuation of the story after a lapse of time. I appreciated the really sensible way the story picks up, what they lay out as having happened over the 10 years, and now the difference in some of these characters, in the setting, in the events. It all fits. I really enjoyed this. I know, I'm getting boring, but 5 stars. And unfortunately, that's all I get to report this month. I've had a lot of, like I said, reading intense activities for work. I loved what I got to read for pleasure, but I just couldn't fit it in to the degree I did in January. I also have been proofreading a short story collection for author John Palladino this month, a friend of the show, and he's been featured both of his books in the grimdark series, The Tragedy of Sedaine. I've done episodes here on the channel for, and I have an author interview on John you can find here too. Well, this short story collection is from the world of The Tragedy of Sedaine, and it's fantastic. Each of the stories fairly short, recognizable characters, some background, really neat things that are fleshing out the world a little bit more. I'm appreciating he's letting me help him out with this proofreading, and I've got to finish that soon because I got to get it back to him. But that took up some of my February time, willingly letting it happen. Go check out his books. The Trials of Ashmount and Buzzard's Bowl are both out there, and a short story collection soonish. I did read parts of 2 other books. I'm not done with them, so I can't give you really in the February count, but Return of the Crimson Guard, a novel of the Malazan Empire by Ian C. Esselmont. I'm about halfway through that book now. I'm loving it. It's giving me more Malazan, but not done. And I'll get to it. You'll hear about it in March. I'm also still reading frickin' Duma Key by Stephen King. This book has finally gotten to the Stephen King-ish part. So the final third of the book, I think I'm going to be able to move through faster, and I'm also hopeful to wrap that up in March. But I still gave it time in February, just like I did in January and December. I started it in September. But for today, you've heard the books that I can mark as achieved. Just 5, but all excellent 5-star reads. I'm not sorry I have no lesser rating books this month to discuss. It's been a delightful reading month. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. And if you have comments on the books that I shared, put them down in the comment box. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.